Hello everyone, welcome back to Elite Tales. Here we discover the emotional and captivating stories about Elon Musk. In this video, we will capture the heartwarming moments of famous entrepreneur. Before we begin, I request you that please subscribe our channel for more interesting videos. It was a cold New Year's Day, the kind where the frost lingers on the ground and the air feels like it's biting at your skin. But in the heart of a small town, it wasn't the cold that made the day unbearable, it was the heavy ache in a mother and father's hearts. John and Sarah had been through what no parent should ever endure. Their little girl, Lily, had disappeared without a trace. One moment she was playing in the park with her favorite stuffed animal, and the next she was gone. No sign, no clue, just an empty playground where their world had once been full. The days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. The family had searched high and low, but nothing. Their hopes, once full of optimism, began to fade as the silence grew louder. The Christmas holidays had passed, and now New Year's Day loomed before them, a painful reminder of the joy they had lost. Sarah sat at the kitchen table, her head in her hands. The thought of her daughter, out there somewhere in the cold, made her heart shatter. She couldn't help but replay the last moments she had with Lily, her laughter, her bright eyes, the way she twirled around in her little pink dress. It was all a distant memory now, and no amount of time seemed to ease the weight of it all. John walked in, his face weathered from months of searching and sleepless nights. He saw Sarah, and for a brief moment, their eyes met eyes full of pain, full of longing, full of a love that had never faltered, no matter how difficult the days had been. "Have you heard anything?" Sarah asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "No," John replied, his voice thick with emotion. "Nothing new. But we can't stop looking." As the couple sat there, lost in their grief, something extraordinary was happening far away, in a world where the name Elon Musk was known for changing the future. Musk had just launched another groundbreaking project, one that was designed to bring hope and help where it was needed most. He had been helping fund search efforts for missing children across the nation, using technology and innovative tracking systems to locate them. On this particular New Year's Day, he found himself drawn to a small town with a heavy heart and a mission to help reconnect a family with their lost child. It started as a normal day at his office, but as Musk went over the statistics of missing children cases in the US, something caught his eye, a story that seemed to echo in his soul. A little girl named Lily had gone missing months ago, and her parents were still desperately searching for her. Musk knew the family was running out of options and could use a lifeline. Determined to help, he made a call that would change everything for John and Sarah. The first step was to gather the resources, tracking devices, new leads, the latest technology. Musk had the tools and the determination to make the impossible happen. Within hours, he was flying across the country to meet John and Sarah, offering his expertise, his resources, and most importantly, his unwavering belief that no family should ever have to give up hope. When Musk arrived at their door, John and Sarah were shocked. They had never expected someone like him, one of the wealthiest and most influential men in the world, to show up in their lives. They felt overwhelmed with emotions, confusion, hope, disbelief. How could someone like him care about their little girl? Yet there he was, standing in front of them with nothing but kindness in his eyes. Elon didn't waste any time. He immediately sat down with them, his sincerity and warmth breaking through their initial shock. "I know this must be hard to believe," Musk said softly, "but I want you to know that we're going to do everything we can to bring Lily home. We have the technology, and we won't stop searching." Sarah wiped her eyes, her heart full of doubt and hope at the same time. "How? How can we believe it? It's been so long. What if? What if we never find her?" Elon gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "I promise you, we're going to find her. It's not over." With that promise, the Musk-led team sprang into action. They gathered all the data they could, using advanced technology to scan every possible lead. They reviewed old footage from cameras around the park, ran facial recognition software, and connected with local authorities and volunteers to comb through every inch of the town. Elon didn't just leave it to his team, he was with them every step of the way, making calls, organizing efforts, and even meeting with other families who had gone through similar pain. His focus was singular, bringing hope back into the hearts of John and Sarah. The days that followed were filled with anticipation, and as they approached the evening of New Year's Eve, something incredible happened. A breakthrough. An old lead had come in, a sighting of Lily near a local shelter, alone but unharmed. John and Sarah, along with Elon and the team, rushed to the shelter, their hearts pounding in their chests. The hope that had been dormant for so long was now reignited, and they could barely contain their emotions. Could this really be happening? Could their daughter really be out there, just waiting to come home? When they arrived at the shelter, their breaths caught in their throats. There, standing in front of the door, was a figure. It was a little girl, her hair disheveled and her clothes worn, but her eyes were unmistakable. It was Lily. Tears flooded Sarah's eyes as she ran to her daughter, lifting her in her arms and holding her tight, as though she would never let go. John was close behind, his own tears falling freely as he embraced both of them. The years of pain, of sleepless nights, of fear, suddenly, it was all worth it. Their family was whole again. But there was more. As they stood there, overwhelmed with joy, Elon stepped forward. His words, simple yet powerful, left a lasting impact on everyone in that room. "You never gave up," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "Your love for Lily was stronger than any obstacle. And because of that love, we're here today." John and Sarah looked at Elon, their gratitude impossible to put into words. They had been through hell and back, but in that moment, they realized that love, hope, and determination were the true forces that had brought them to this day. As they left the shelter and made their way home, they knew that New Year's Day would always be more than just the start of a new year. It would be the day they got their daughter back, thanks to the unwavering help of an unexpected hero. Elon Musk didn't just change the future through technology. He changed lives. And sometimes, that's the greatest gift of all. The car ride back was quiet, almost reverent. The usual chatter of a family returning from an outing was absent. Instead, there was an air of calm, a stillness that spoke louder than words. John and Sarah couldn't take their eyes off Lily. She was tucked safely between them, holding their hands with a fierce grip that only a child who had been lost for so long could possess. The three of them were back together, and the warmth of their love seemed to wrap around them like a blanket, chasing away the cold of the world outside. Lily's voice broke the silence. "Mom, Dad, I'm sorry," she whispered, her small voice barely audible. "No, sweetheart, no. You have nothing to be sorry for," Sarah said, her voice trembling as she stroked Lily's hair. "We've missed you so much, and we're so glad you're home." John reached over and squeezed Sarah's hand. He was struggling to keep his emotions in check. The tears that had been building inside him since they found Lily were threatening to spill over, but he held them back. They had come through the worst together, and now, they were looking ahead. The family returned to their home, and as the door closed behind them, it felt as if a new chapter had begun. The house, once so eerily silent without Lily's laughter, was now filled with the sound of her voice as she excitedly told them about the days she had spent alone. But there was something more to her story, a story of strength, resilience, and survival. Lily had been found near a local shelter, but the journey hadn't been easy. For days she had wandered the streets, asking for help and looking for familiar faces, but the world had seemed so big and so cold. There were moments when she had given up hope, moments when she thought she would never see her parents again. But somehow, deep within her, she had kept going. "I missed you so much," Lily said again, her words soft and filled with emotion. "I didn't want to go away." "We didn't want you to go either, sweetie," John said, his voice rough with emotion. "But you're home now, and we'll never let you go again." That night, as they sat around the table, their little family had dinner together for the first time in months. The meal was simple, but to them, it felt like the finest feast. It wasn't the food that made it special, it was the fact that they were all together again. Elon's words echoed in Sarah's mind as she looked at her family. "Your love for Lily was stronger than any obstacle," it was true. Their love had carried them through the darkest times, and now it had brought them back into the light. The following days were a blur of emotions. There was so much to catch up on, so much healing to be done. But at every step, Elon's involvement in their journey remained a steady presence. He had changed everything for them, giving them the tools, the hope, and the resources they had so desperately needed. John and Sarah knew they would never be able to thank him enough. But what they didn't expect was the message Elon left for them after the reunion. It was a video message. He sat in front of a plain wall, wearing a simple shirt, his usual professional demeanor replaced by a look of sincere care. "I know I can't fully understand what you've been through," he said, his voice quiet, almost reflective. "But I want you to know that your story, your love, it's changed me. It reminded me why we do what we do. It's not just about building rockets or electric cars, it's about making the world a better place for people. You, your family, are why I do this." The words caught Sarah off guard. She had expected a message of thanks, of politeness. But this was different. It was heartfelt, and it was real. She showed the video to John, and the two of them sat silently as they watched. Elon Musk, a man they never expected to meet, had given them more than just resources. He had given them hope, humanity, and the reassurance that there were people in the world who cared. As the days turned into weeks, life slowly returned to normal, or at least as normal as it could be. The trauma of the months without Lily would always be there, lurking in the background, but the love and joy that now filled their home were more than enough to carry them forward. But there was one final piece to the story that neither Sarah nor John had anticipated. A few weeks after the reunion, as they were walking through their neighborhood, Lily noticed something strange. It was a small flyer on a lamppost, one of those printed by local organizations. But what caught her attention wasn't the flyer itself, it was the picture on it. A young boy, no older than Lily, was missing. His face looked so familiar, and before Sarah could stop her, Lily was tugging at her arm. "Mom, that's the boy I saw," she exclaimed, pointing at the flyer. Sarah looked closely, and her heart skipped a beat. The boy's face was unmistakable. It was the same face Lily had described seeing on the streets when she was lost. A familiar, comforting face in a time of loneliness. John turned to Sarah, a look of understanding in his eyes. They both knew what they had to do. Together with Elon Musk's team, they organized a search effort for the boy, using the same technology that had helped them find Lily. And within days, they were able to locate the boy and reunite him with his family. It was a full-circle moment, one that filled them with gratitude and humility. They had been the ones who were saved, and now they were paying it forward. The love and strength they had shown for Lily had given them the ability to help another family, to bring hope to someone else in need. As they sat together that night, the warmth of the fire crackling in the background, Sarah looked at John and Lily and felt a deep sense of peace settle over her heart. "Thank you, Elon," she whispered. Though he was far away, knowing in her heart that his kindness had forever changed their lives. The love that had once felt so fragile was now stronger than ever. And in the end, that was all that mattered. Because love, as Elon had reminded them, was what changed the world. As the days passed, Sarah and John found themselves reflecting on their journey. The emptiness that had haunted them during Lily's absence seemed to dissipate with each passing moment. The quiet moments they once dreaded now filled them with peace, a testament to the healing power of family and love. It wasn't just about having Lily back, it was about the way they had all grown together. The experience had reshaped their priorities, reinforcing the notion that life is fragile and precious, and that time with the people you love is never to be taken for granted. Lily, who had once been so shy, now found herself speaking with newfound confidence. She began to share stories with her parents about her time on the streets, describing the faces she had encountered, the places she had slept, and the brief moments of kindness she had received. Despite the hardships she had faced, there was a strength in her voice that made Sarah and John swell with pride. "We have to help the other kids," Mom Lily said one evening as they were finishing dinner. "There are other kids out there who don't have a family to go back to. We need to find them." Her words took Sarah and John by surprise. They had never expected Lily to carry the weight of the world on her shoulders at such a young age. But they also recognized that the bond they shared with their daughter was something powerful, something that could change not just their lives but the lives of others as well. The very next day, they reached out to Elon Musk's team, who had been instrumental in helping them reunite with Lily. They explained their desire to give back, to help other children who were lost and vulnerable, and asked for guidance on how they could start an initiative. Elon's response was immediate. He arranged a meeting with them, offering them the resources and support they needed to launch a foundation dedicated to helping missing children. His belief in the power of humanity, his belief in the idea that technology could be used for more than just progress, had ignited something in them. They were ready to turn their pain into purpose. With Elon's backing, Sarah, John, and Lily began to work on the foundation, rallying volunteers and supporters from around the country. The foundation's goal was simple: to help children reunite with their families, to provide resources for those in need, and to give every child a chance at a brighter future. But the impact they made went far beyond their original vision. They used the latest technology: satellite images, advanced tracking systems, and social media to locate missing children. They created a network of volunteers who worked day and night to search for clues, bringing families back together. And they were able to provide support and comfort to families who had been separated from their children, offering them the tools they needed to endure the heart-wrenching journey. But it wasn't just the technology that made their work so impactful, it was the love and compassion that fueled every decision. Sarah, John, and Lily were living proof that love could heal the deepest wounds, and their foundation became a beacon of hope for families across the nation. Months passed, and the foundation began to grow. They helped hundreds of children return to their families, offering them not just the physical reunion they had longed for, but the emotional and mental support they needed to rebuild their lives. As the work continued, Sarah and John found themselves in a position they had never imagined: speaking at conferences, sharing their story, and inspiring others to take action. The quiet couple, who had once felt helpless, now stood as leaders in the fight for missing children, their voices carrying the weight of experience and hope. But throughout it all, the one thing that remained constant was Lily. She had become the heart of the foundation, her strength and determination reminding everyone who met her that no child was ever truly lost, not if they had love and support. One evening, as the family sat in their living room, Lily spoke up again, her voice filled with emotion. "Mom, Dad, I think it's time to do something big. We need to build a place where children who are lost, scared, or alone can come to feel safe." Her words sparked something in Sarah and John: a vision for the future. They knew the foundation needed to grow, and this idea, this place of refuge, could change everything for children who needed more than just a reunion with their families. It could be a place where they could heal, where they could feel safe, loved, and supported as they navigated the complex emotions of being lost. With Elon's help, they began the process of building the first ever safe haven for children who had been through traumatic experiences. It would be a place where children could receive therapy, connect with others who had shared similar experiences, and begin to rebuild their lives. And, most importantly, it would be a place where they could feel like they mattered. The vision of the safe haven became their driving force, propelling them forward even when the work seemed endless. They poured their hearts into the project, ensuring that every detail from the design of the building to the programs offered was created with love and care. The grand opening of the safe haven was nothing short of magical. The walls were lined with vibrant colors, the air filled with laughter and music. Children who had been through unimaginable hardship now played and smiled, knowing that they were no longer alone. Sarah and John stood together, hand in hand, watching the children run and play. They had created something beautiful, a place of healing and hope. But the most profound moment came later that day, when a mother walked up to Sarah, tears streaming down her face. The woman had just been reunited with her son, who had been lost for over a year. She embraced Sarah tightly, whispering words of gratitude. "You've changed my life," the woman said, her voice trembling. "I didn't know if I'd ever see him again, but now I have him back. I don't know how to thank you." Sarah's heart swelled with emotion. She pulled the woman into a hug, her tears mingling with hers. "You don't need to thank me," she said softly. "Thank you for trusting us. We're just doing what's right. We're all in this together." And in that moment, surrounded by the love and joy of reunited families, Sarah, John, and Lily knew that their journey had come full circle. They had gone from being lost and broken to becoming the ones who brought hope to others. They had healed. And now, they were helping others heal too. As they stood together, looking at the children and families around them, they knew that their lives would never be the same. They had found their purpose, and in doing so, they had changed the lives of countless others. The pain they had once felt had been transformed into something beautiful, something that would last forever. And as they watched the sunset on that New Year's Day, the day that had started with heartbreak and uncertainty, they knew that their story was far from over. They had only just begun. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting its warm glow over the safe haven they had built, Sarah, John, and Lily stood together united by their journey, their love, and the countless lives they had touched along the way. Their story was a testament to the power of hope, the strength of the human spirit, and the incredible difference one family could make. The road ahead may have been uncertain, but they had already learned that, with love, anything was possible. They had overcome the unthinkable and created something beautiful out of their pain, a legacy of healing and compassion for generations to come. Thank you for watching and joining us on this incredible journey. If this story has touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to continue being a part of this movement of love, hope, and change. Together, we can make the world a better place, one story at a time. Keep believing in the power of kindness, and remember, every act of love, no matter how small, can spark a ripple effect that changes the world.